say, oh, well, you were lousy and you just ended up with Crosby and Malkin. And they're like, yeah, look at the Edmonton Oilers. Look how many number one overall picks they had, and look where they're at now. They are a disaster. Do they even have? That's it. I don't even know. Do they still have Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, or is he gone?
I think he's still floating around over there. I don't know if he's healthy, though.
Taylor Hall was the number one overall pick 2010 by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins was the number one overall pick in 2011. Nail Yakupov, I know he's not there anymore, 2012. Draisaitl. Okay, well that one worked out.
Just look at Connor McDavid. Like, if you literally look at that guy's face, he's dead behind the eyes because they sucked the soul out of him. It is misery there. Okay? Here's the other thing. Like, let's play with this funny, crazy otherworld scenarios, because you know what? There is an interesting one. Imagine if Sidney Crosby was a Philadelphia Flyer. Because that could have happened. That could have happened. Like, everybody had the same, like, draft odds. I was, like, 14 that year. I was not a huge hockey fan at the time, so I don't remember the exact specifics. But, like, everybody had basically the same odds. I think the Penguins might have had slightly higher odds because they finished so low.
Right.
The year before the lockout. But, like, Sidney Crosby could have been a Philadelphia Flyer. Think about that. Or, even worse scenario, his career could have ended in 2011.
That's right.
You know what? Like, let's just think about that, guys. Let's think about the grand picture here. You've seen the guy score 1,000 points. Malkin's knocking on the door. Doesn't matter what has happened this season. You look at their body of work, and I swear to God, if both of them are not first ballot Hall of Famers, we riot.
Yeah, but having Jack Johnson and I can't pronounce this dang guy's name. Gudbranson? Goodbranson.
It's okay.
Goodbranson. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just call him not so good Branson. But anyway, but what the heck is wrong with Phil Kessel? Is he hurt? Did he get hacked too, like Jim Rutherford?
I don't know. Is it weird? I'm not that concerned. There are way more things that concern me about this team than Phil Kessel at this point. I'm sorry.
Like Matt Murray?
He's not the problem. He's had, 3 bad games after 2 months of putting up like 950 save percentage? He's not the problem. It's the black hole in front of him. And when he doesn't play Superman, it makes him look terrible because the people in front of him that are supposed to play this thing called defense aren't doing it.
Oh boy.
I saw that article about Matt Murray yesterday where, like, Matt Murray is a big problem or what. And I literally went from like 0 to 10 in like 30 seconds. I was like, are you kidding me? I tweeted about this after the game on Saturday night. Matt Murray played in absolutely abhorrent conditions. So let's just remember that right there.
Yeah.
He played behind 4 defensemen. 4 of them. One of which was Jack Johnson. So basically 3 1/4 defensemen. And he still put in a performance that like they could have lost that game 12-3. Wilkes-Barre Scranton in 2018 had a game where they played with 4 defensemen for the bulk of their third period. Not even 2 periods, just the third. They lost the game 12-3. They got absolutely smoked. And there was nothing anybody could do about it. Because there was no defense. The fact that he made it that long is kind of impressive, really. Kind of really reflects badly on the Flyers that they, weren't closer before that.
Right.
It took you that long in a game where the team had 4 defensemen, none of which are their top defensemen. Like,
Yeah.
okay, all right. So you see what I'm saying here? Like, look, here's the thing. Matt Murray has had struggles. That's okay. You know what? He's a goaltender. Goaltenders are voodoo. They're going to have struggles, every single one of them. What he needs is a defense that actually is going to make it possible for him to do his damn job on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Like, he's overcompensating for their mistakes, so it's taking him off of his angles and making him look like he doesn't know what he's doing. But it's because Jack Johnson can't skate. I don't care how big the guy is. I don't care that he's a nice guy. I don't care that he's polite to everybody. Great. Good for him. It just sounds like you're talking about a good person to me. He still can't do his job. If my job is to fix windows and I can't fix windows, it doesn't matter how nice I am.
Or that you smell nice. Oh my goodness. So basically we could call McCann and Bukestad, they're kind of not exactly trade deadline acquisitions, but they were close to the trade deadline. How do you think they're doing so far?
Oh, I really like McCann. Bukestad's been okay. I mean, I think the funny thing is, I think all the other additions they had made this year, even the one they traded away, were good additions. So I thought Tanner Pearson was serviceable. And he was cheaper and he was younger than Carl Hagelin. I think Marcus Pettersson's, he's got something. You know, he's not ready yet. You can tell he's still pretty young, but he might turn into something. He was like the least affected by Jack Johnson's like Thor-like sucking of all of your talent abilities. So that's a positive for him. And let's see, who else did they add? McCann and Bukestad. They've been better than Derek Brassard. It's not a high bar, but they cleared it, so.
Well, a year ago, they got Brassard, and everybody was saying, the Penguins won the trade deadline. Yay, we got Brassard. Everything's awesome. And that was just a disaster. And they took that and turned it into McCann and Bukestad. So at least it was a bit salvageable. And then I think,
to be fair, nobody thought that what happened with Brassard was going to happen.
No.
He was coming off of some very strong seasons. He had played very well. All of the numbers suggested that he was going to be great. It just didn't work. My only problem with the Brassard thing is that, like, he gave a couple interviews after he left that was like, I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to say bad things. But then he, like, basically said bad things anyways. I'm like, that's not how this works, dude. He, like, basically made it sound like he didn't think he was getting enough ice time, but Sullivan tried to find him more ice time, but he still didn't think he was getting enough ice time. Well, you know what? You're playing behind two Hall of Famers. Suck it up, Buttercup.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just so frustrating that he didn't like the label of third line center. Like, dude, get over it. So you're playing 15 instead of 17 minutes. Yeah, exactly like what you said.
If he would have figured out how to kill penalties, you know, like if he would have been effective on the penalty kill, he still could have been getting those 17 minutes.
Yeah.
Could have just got it on the PK. The other thing is that, like, I don't know what people think when they come into this locker room, but, like, if you're being added to this team, you're not gonna be the guy. Like, I know. Shocking, right?
Yeah.
You're not gonna usurp Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, Chris Letang as the, like, leadership core. They're going to be welcoming. Sid is super nice to everybody. Every time they come to the team, he helped Matt Cullen buy a house the first time he moved here. Okay? Like, they're great guys, but it's their team. It's not even Crosby's team anymore. Like, it's It's their team, like the three of them at this point. Like that is, like, I've had some conversations with friends, like the label of captain is so much less important these days. So many teams don't have captains right now, and it's fine because as long as you have a leadership group, that's all that matters. So like the Leafs have a really strong group with their young guys, and they're like this little pocket, but none of them are actually a captain, but they work in a good group. Crosby's the captain, but him and Malkin and Letang are like the three of them. They turn the neck of this team. And for somebody to come in and think that they're just gonna waltz right into that grouping, it's not gonna happen. And I don't mean that they're not gonna be welcoming. There's a reason why Phil Kessel worked. Phil Kessel didn't want to be the guy.
Oh, definitely. And he was the guy in Toronto and hated it.
And that's why he works here. Because he doesn't have to do any other stuff. He just got to go out and play the dang game. And that's all he wants to do. Plays cards with Gino. They fight back and forth about who's bad. Yay.
Yeah. Oh, man. They're making the playoffs, right? At some point, they got to get hot. At some point, it has to happen. You know, I mean, hopefully.
So so there's 73% chance of making the playoffs for them, like as of this morning before the trade deadline. Mm-hmm. Here's my thing. If they don't make the playoffs, do they fire the GM? What do they do if they don't make the playoffs? Because this team should make the playoffs.
Yes.
Even with the crap defensemen they have, you still have enough elite scoring talent. You should make the playoffs. So if you don't make the playoffs, what are you going to do about it?
You know, just because a GM is or was good at one point doesn't mean they're good for the rest of eternity. I saw it with Craig Patrick. I saw it with Ray Shero. I don't know if we're seeing it with Jim Rutherford, but you're right. This, with the talent on this team, with a healthy Crosby and Malkin, there is no reason to not make the playoffs. With his
coach, like and that's the other thing. Like they have the right coach. What they don't have is some of the right pieces. Like, and I think that even the call up of Trotman for tomorrow for the game against Columbus is another indication of, I don't know that that they're getting it, because that call up should have been for Ethan Prow.
Yeah.
Especially since you don't have you don't have 3 of your top 4 players. Like, play Ethan Prow. Find out what the kid's got.
Well, Trotman will probably be okay. He'll probably play tomorrow. Then he'll be the healthy scratch because you got to play not so good Princeton.
Well, they'll probably just send him back.
Yeah. Kind of funny that they traded Alexiak because they had too many defensemen, and now they have not enough defensemen.
It's not funny. It sucks.
Yeah, it does.
It's not funny. It sucks. And like the other thing is Chris Weidman, because we barely talked about Chris Weidman. Here's my take on Chris Weidman. They should have left it at that. If they would have done the Weidman for D deal, it would have been enough to get them through this stretch where they're going to have a couple guys injured, let those guys get healthy. But no, they were like, no, we need to add another guy. So, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't need another one. You just needed one. You didn't need 2. Especially when one of them is not very good. Now, granted, like, watch Sergei Gonchar, like, come in and just work his magic on these guys and, like, make me look super dumb. But you know what? I want that. Make me look dumb, Sergey. Do it. Because right now, I'm scared.
Yeah, yeah. There needs to be some